headquarters of WeWork, a co-working startup that's most recently valued at $10 billion, making it one of the most expensive startups in the world. With free beer, karaoke, and pinball machines, WeWork has stood out in the ultra-competitive market for co-working spaces.
So as a startup, I've worked anywhere from working from home, eating rice and beans and dolmadas out of a can, to looking into co-working spaces, and I actually looked at quite a few, and the day I walked into WeWork, I knew that this was different. WeWork has solidified the fact that I never want to work in a regular office environment again.
The company started in New York 5 years ago, when the economy was shaky and jobs were scarce. A lot of people freelanced or worked from home. Adam Newman, who founded WeWork, says that it was after the recession that he saw a big opportunity.
So in 2008, you had an entire generation that was holding, for the first time, an iPhone, and really had access to information in a way that just didn't exist before. And as they saw the world coming down in the downturn, or the Great Depression, as I've heard some people call it, they noticed a few things. One of them being that sort of the old rules are getting broken. It's not true anymore that they could go to that Ivy League school, get that perfect degree, and then go to corporate America, and that's going to be their career for the next 30 years. They suddenly realized that nothing is for sure, so if that's the case, why not do what you love?
Adam grew up on a kibbutz in Israel. He's described WeWork as a capitalist kibbutz, where independent people can find a community, but also go by the mantra, you eat what you kill. Investors seem on board. WeWork has raked in more than $1 billion in funding in just the past 3 years. Its business model is actually very traditional. WeWork leases out office spaces, redesigns them, and then just sublets them out. It's similar to that of Regus, a company that's been doing this for nearly 3 decades. Adam rejects the comparison.
A lot of times people ask me if we compete against co-working spaces or against Regus, and the answer is no. We're competing against office. We're changing the way people work. And one thing about millennials, they're very asset light. They're not going to own 10 pairs of jeans. They're going to own 2. And they're going to leverage the sharing economy, because if you can prove to them that by using Uber is going to be cheaper for them than buying a car, well, then they're going to be very open-minded to that, even though past generations thought that owning a car is a very meaningful thing.
WeWork's business model can be risky. It takes out long leases of at least 10 years, but its own tenants are on a monthly contract. And while WeWork's risen to fame along with a surge in startup culture, the tech sector is prone to booms and busts. In 2003, after the dot-com bubble burst, Regis's tech tenants pulled out and the company filed for bankruptcy. But for now, WeWork has found a sweet spot for people who don't want to be alone all day, or work in what Adam calls a soul-crushing corporate office.
This kind of environment sort of facilitates a different kind of working life. It makes being a freelancer or working for a very small company actually not feel as isolating as it would otherwise. By bringing all of these companies together, in some ways you're creating an environment that is less like the individual with a laptop kind of working on their own. And a little more like, the traditional work environment where you have this community, right? So it's actually kind of bridging those two together, and to us, it's sort of the best of both worlds.
BASH is a government-funded project with 22,000 square feet of working space, a bar, a lab complete with 3D printers, as well as motivational slogans and table football.